A little before it was a cemetery, actually this area has a lot of historical significance.
I think the location is like super imbalanced.
I really like the fantos there lah. Yeah.
Hi, welcome to another episode with Three Stories. We here have Silas with us today and Jason as well and me, Christine. So today our topic we're going to talk about is Bidadari overhyped? Okay, so just some disclaimer first. This information we got are information obtained from sources we believe that are reliable. These are some of our personal
Opinions?
yes. And yes, if you want any advice, please do approach your agents. If not, you can just give us a ring as well. Okay? So why are we actually looking at this topic? It's because definitely you have seen some big news on Bidadari, having 3 and 4 room flats at Bidadari making record prices. Yeah, so that's why we want to dive in and then talk a little bit more about this new HDB estate lah. Yeah, so before we go into details, when we hear of the word Bidadari, what's the impression that you get? Jason?
So personally, I stay relatively near to Bidadari. In fact, I can walk to Bidadari itself. Being in Serangoon itself, close proximity to the Bali side of Bidadari. Bidadari is an estate that is really quite nice to live in. I see a lot of developments, especially like the park, which incorporates nature into the HDB estates. Close proximity to Woodleigh and Woodleigh Mall also. So Woodleigh Mall is a place where sometimes I go there and do work as well, and I really like the fantos there lah. Yeah, so that's my experience in Bidadari.
Okay, so you like Bidadari.
Yeah.
How about Silas?
I don't stay that near. I stay about maybe 10 minutes drive to Bidadari, but I think the location is super imbalanced.
Imbalance?
Yeah, it's too good already. You have so many things there. You have a proper shopping mall. You have community center. You have hawker center. You have a park.
Yeah.
You have the MRT station, and recently they opened a bus interchange as well. Right. Yeah. So I think the location is quite crazy.
Oh, okay. I think personally for me, Bidadari is an area that I won't really go by. So I'm not as familiar. So maybe Jason, you can share with us a little bit more about the background. What is that estate about?
Okay, just a bit of a understanding of where Bidadari is at for the moment. So it's actually technically it's the central region, it's the RCR area within the Toa Payoh estate.
Right.
A little bit towards the northeast, but also quite central in the middle of Singapore. So what you see in the next slide is actually it's in between Woodleigh, Bartley, and then actually Potong Pasir is at the bottom area. So it's intersected between Woodleigh MRT, Bartley MRT, and Potong Pasir MRT. So which makes it very convenient also, like what Silas mentioned.
Okay.
Then within it itself, you can see in the middle there's a lot of greenery. And the Bidadari Park and the Alkaff Lake itself.
Right.
Yeah, so it's split between the Bartley Heights neighborhood, the Park Edge neighborhood, the Woodleigh neighborhood, the Alkaff neighborhood, and there's also the Senate neighborhood itself. Yeah, so
Quite a big plot.
it is. Overall, I think
Huge.
it's 93 hectares or something like that. Yeah, and then the park itself is also about 1.8 hectares. Yeah, so Bidadari, a bit of a history also. A lot of people know that previously it was a cemetery.
Yes, this I know.
Yeah, but going a little before it was a cemetery, actually this area has a lot of historical significance also. So I think within the 18th, 19th century, back then there was this grand residence as well, which is where the Bidadari name came from. It was owned by a English businessman or something like that. Yeah. So later on, he sold this home to someone who eventually became a Sultan of Johor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of wealth and prosperity related to this area as well.
Right.
Even before it became a cemetery.
I see.
So after which, somehow Bidadari, I think it's a Malay name, a Malay term for angels also.
Oh.
So later on, after blessing the guy to become the Sultan, it became a blessed place for the final resting place for many people.
Oh,
Yeah. It's
I
very
didn't know that.
interesting. Yeah, because typically when you know cemeteries, usually it's different religions, different ethnicity, they have their own cemetery.
Yeah, correct.
In Bidadari itself, it's actually a mixture of like the Buddhists, the Christians, the Muslims as well. So a lot of ethnicities were gathering even before today's HDB's
Kampung
BTOs.
spirit, kampung spirit.
Right.
Yeah. So I think Bidadari holds a lot of historical significance. Went through a period where it became a cemetery, and then in 2013, the government decided this area, it's a bit too good to be just a cemetery. Should let the living people also appreciate this place.
Don't just enjoy the place while you are not around to enjoy it anymore.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, so at that point of time, they removed the cemetery, and in fact, the cemetery held quite a few notable figures like Dr. Lim Boon Keng, which the Boon Keng MRT's name came from. He was also resting there. Yeah.
Okay.
And there was some Minister of Health, Minister of Labour back then also.
Right.
So today, Bidadari is essentially like a community in a garden.
It's like a huati also lah, in a sense.
Yes, and for many people as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, what about the park? Just now you mentioned the park that you like to visit.
Yeah, so somehow they were saying that this park is inspired by Winnie the Pooh's 100 Acres Wood.
Winnie the Pooh?
I don't
Like the Pooh Bear.
the Winnie the
Winnie the
Pooh
Pooh
bear,
bear, wow.
yes. Yeah, the 100 Acres
I've
Woods.
never seen the park.
I'm not sure where the resemblance stands, but it's a very impressive park. Lah.
It is.
Yeah.
I just don't know how the Winnie the Pooh one looks like.
Yeah,
We have
I think in the
just
playground
one more
area.
image as well. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, so this is the Alkaff Lake itself, and surrounding it is estates within the Bidadari development. Yeah.
Okay.
So this lake itself, also interestingly, it attracts a lot of migratory birds. So there are a lot of people who go there for bird watching, taking
and
photos
taking
of
photos.
birds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this itself also, if you go into the next slide, actually this lake itself is Singapore's first underground service reservoir.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So this park, they kind of purposefully design it such that water can seep down, and then there's different layers in it so that when it rains, certain areas will be flooded, and then they shift you up to the higher level.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, it prevents flooding.
Prevents flooding, and I guess it accumulates the water underground. I don't know how the technical stuff works, but quite interesting.
Interesting.
Overall, Bidadari also, their master plan won some international real estate award. Yeah.
What for?
I don't know how they qualify it, but and then overall it's for the master plan. So I guess in terms of livability of Bidadari, it's something that impressed, and it's a gold award internationally.
I mean, kind of like what Silas said about like having a lot of things inside and like joining everything, putting everything together in that space.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
Yep.
Enjoying the video so far?
Let him know by liking this video, sharing with your friends, and
Subscribing to our channel. Okay, let's go back to the video.
Okay, then I heard, right, Silas, you recently transacted at Bidadari also.
Yes.
What makes Bidadari so special for your buyers? Like, why did they pick Bidadari?
So prior to arriving at Bidadari, we actually went almost around Singapore looking at different locations that were near to MRT. So being close proximity to MRT was a key factor that we were looking for. We went to areas like MacPherson, we went to areas like St. George, Bendemeer, etc. And eventually we arrived at Bidadari because of just that's what I mentioned, the sheer imbalance of the location. Imbalanceness of the location that really has everything in a single location. And in fact, when I speak to sellers who are staying there, right now, some of the areas have actually MOP'd, so they are looking to upgrade, to move on. But it's very, very hard to find the next place to move to because this location is quite unrivaled in that sense. I think you asked me even like, even Orchard also a bit hard to find this location. Yeah,
Oh.
like the amenities wise lah, in terms of that. Yeah.
See. So curious, do you think you can share with our viewers how much did your buyers buy their unit for?
They bought it at, I think the caveat should be out lah. They bought it at 1.248
For a
for a 4-room flat.
4-room flat. Is that like the record price?
No. Thankfully, we were not the record. Because I saw the buyer, so hold on the record price. And the record price is by this fun fact. Okay, bro, if you're watching, I know. Sorry. The record price is actually a unit that I viewed. The house belongs to an agent.
Oh.
Yeah, so I know the agent. So kudos, he sold his own house as a record price.
Congrats.
Yeah. I think his house is like level 30 if I'm not wrong lah. But the unit that we bought is slightly newer and it's at the top floor.
Oh,
So
okay.
for HDB's top floor, you have a higher ceiling. So we got a better deal lah in that sense. Yeah, but kudos, bro.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, just now, Jason, you mentioned that Bidadari used to be a cemetery, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you think that like it being a cemetery actually matters to people that wants to come into Bidadari?
I think back then when the government decided to kind of redevelop this area from a cemetery to residential estate,
Yeah.
there were a bit of controversial news online or like on forums on people discussing and all.
Yeah. Like feedback from people. Right?
Yeah, I think a lot of them were thinking like, this place used to be for those who are dying, those who are dead, not those who are dying.
不是 dying，
Not dying yet.
对。
Yeah, close to are dying, close to yeah, those who are dead. Yeah, so they're like, who would want to sleep with this?
Yeah.
People,
I think of that about like our time when like the young couples when they can like actually BTO. I also hear my friends saying like last time cemetery leh.
Yeah, exactly. But end up, I do have quite a lot of friends, even relatives who subscribe for the BTO there. I know at least 3 people who got
I don't know
Bidadari.
two, ah.
They got the Bidadari.
They got
Out of the
Bidadari.
3 and we have the same 2 person.
Yeah, correct. So eventually, beyond that also, the subscription rates were crazy. I think there were some estates where the second timer oversubscribed by I think like 75 times or something.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, what we're looking at in the market is how the prices are eventually.
Yeah.
So I guess a lot of buyers are a bit more progressive. They don't really consider so much about the superstitions and the history of that area.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like you can kind of like it's either you scared or like because the place is so hot, that's why they bury the ancestors there lah, right?
Yeah.
You can see it both ways. Okay, so I think Silas, because
Yep.
you help your buyers transact a unit there at Bidadari, you probably spend a lot of time researching. So you will be our
did.
Bidadari expert today.
哎，不要这样讲 ，OK， wow.
Okay, because I think Bidadari is so huge, right? So for buyers who are looking at Bidadari, like what are some key things that they should consider? Okay, you guys, listen up.
Okay, so I do have a slide that we've done just to briefly summarize a little bit. So in the Bidadari estate, so just now as Jason mentioned, there are like the Alkaff region, then there's a Senate region, etc. So currently, the Alkaff region is the one that is the newest one, and people who have stayed there for 5 years. In the Alkaff estate, there are the 5 estates in the Alkaff region. Mainly, the earliest one would be the Vista, followed by Lakeview, Courtview, Oasis, and Breeze. So out of these 5, 3 has already MOP'd. Courtview, the first batch has already MOP'd. So these are for viewers out there who are looking to purchase over here. You can take a screenshot of this. It would help quite a bit when you are looking for a house there what some of the attributes.
Already summarized.
Yeah, it's a
put into one
summarized
page.
one page lah. Okay, and moving on to delve a little bit deeper, but also not to spend too much time. I did a bit of layout analysis based on Alkaff's Vista, Lakeview, and Courtview. Okay, so based on Alkaff Vista, right? The 4-room flats there are actually all of the same layout. So the only difference is that just now, as you see from my previous slide, that in Vista there's only 4-room and 5-room.
Yeah.
So their 5-room, right? Slight difference would be the placement of the home shelter. So below I've give a bit of teaser lah. I actually put down the stack of all the stacks of these certain units. But if you want to know the exact stack, you know what to do.
Reach out to us.
Yeah. So 5-room flat home shelter placement. The one on the right is the one that I personally absolutely don't like, of the home shelter being the center of the house, because it's really very 左顶. The more ideal, I feel, placement of the home shelter would be the one on the left lah. And moving on to Alkaff Lakeview. So Alkaff Lakeview and Courtview actually have same, I think maybe the developer is the same lah. It's the same types of layout. So Alkaff Lakeview and Courtview has 3-room flat and 4-room flat. So mainly the 3-room flat, right? This is the one that I think viewers should really pay attention, because in Alkaff Lakeview and Courtview there are units with balcony. Yes,
balcony?
I repeat, balcony. And this is a BTO HDB project. It's not a design and build scheme. It's not a DBSS. Okay.
Interesting.
And these are the units that are super popular. So if we look at the 4 layouts over there, right? Okay, the first layout is the unit without the balcony. But what is interesting, if you look closer, this is actually a dumbbell layout.
For HDB
Yeah. So in the private market, we will call this a dumbbell 2-bed, 2-bed 2-bath, somewhere with a home shelter layout lah, which you don't find much these days. And it's interesting that they actually have a dumbbell layout for HDBs. Right? A bit to understand, but quite interesting lah. And the second one on the right would be the same dumbbell layout, but this time with a balcony. So what I feel that HDB has done superb well is that if you look at the square meter of the size, the normal 3-room flat these days is 68 square meter. This one, everybody know one standard. But the one with the balcony is 71 square meter. So what it essentially means is the extra balcony is not part of the internal livable space.
Oh, so it's like an extra space that actually
They
comes
literally
out.
give you 3 extra square meters.
Wow, for the balcony.
Correct. As compared to the... Sorry, you asked?
No, as in you were saying also some stacks have and some stacks don't have the
Correct.
balcony.
Yes, so those stacks that have balcony are actually the stacks that faces the park or have a view of the Bidadari park.
Oh.
Yes, so those that are inward facing, because you don't get a park, so you don't get a balcony lah, in that sense.
Because you no view, then might as well don't need balcony.
Then view the balcony already.
Wow.
But what is interesting that they've done so well is because traditionally, if you look at design and build scheme, right, the internal space is always consists of the balcony itself. So for example, let's say I take the DBSS at Tampines, which I've so recently as well. The square footage of the house is 904 square feet.
Yeah.
So 904 square feet works out to be about 88 square meter lah for a 4-room flat. So 3-bedroom and 904 square feet. So 88 square meter lah. But this 88 square meter consists of like a 4 square meter balcony.
Oh, so it eats a little bit more of the user.
Correct. So you can imagine how the living room does feel a little bit smaller and cramped.
Yeah, I've also seen DBSS in the Toa Payoh area where the prices are quite crazy.
Yeah.
The living space to the balcony space, the proportion is maybe 6:4. So
Yeah, correct.
the balcony
Yeah,
is almost
correct.
like the
40%
size of,
lor.
40% also in
It's huge, it's huge.
It's quite crazy.
Yeah, it's
so
quite
a lot of people
long
use
period.
that as like the dining space
Yeah.
or another study. If not, it's
man.
wasted. But
Correct.
here it's different.
Correct. And then on the 3rd and 4th layout would be the more traditional layout whereby the rooms are all flush to the side, and the 4th one facing the lake will have a balcony lah. So there are actually only 2 number of stacks that faces the lake. If you want to know which one, actually it's quite easy to find out lah. Okay, next we look at the 4-room flat analysis.
Okay.
Same thing, also 4 types of layout. The left one, the first one over there, is the one without the balcony, so not facing the lake. Is a dumbbell 4-room flat. So 93 square meter. And then we have a dumbbell 4-room flat, but this time with the balcony, 96 square meter, so extra 3 square meter of the balcony. And then the other 2 on the right would be the traditional layout whereby it's all flush to the side lah. But just looking at this layout, so my buyer who bought the Bidadari estate actually bought the one on the second one. So the one with the balcony.
Okay.
Okay, reason being
yeah.
so, and it's not just for the view and the balcony, it's also for the placement of the home shelter. So just now I already mentioned if
Yeah.
so I feel that the way they design it is a bit sian in the sense that so if your unit is like not facing the park, right? So you don't have the balcony, that's one. And if you don't go for the dumbbell layout, you go for the traditional layout, then your home shelter is in the middle of the house.
Okay.
Yeah, which makes it impossible for you to have an open concept kitchen. Yeah, if you look at the layout. So what we opt for in the best case scenario is the second one, which has the balcony. The home shelter is at the perfect location and top floor unit lah.
I
Yeah.
see.
So this is just a brief layout analysis for the Alkaff.
Yeah. Okay. I think viewers out there, y'all definitely learn a lot. I definitely learn a lot from our Bidadari expert. Okay. But there's definitely a lot more things about Bidadari. And if we were to share everything, we probably take like 3 hours to finish this video. Yeah. So if anybody is house hunting or just curious, you can always reach out to us if you want to know more. Hope this gives you a bit more real perspective to what Bidadari estate is all about.
Yep.
And yeah, feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we also do have the Bidadari guide on our website as well. So if you guys want to know a bit more about Bidadari, feel free to take a look. We will add the link below in the description.
Yep. And if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe.
Right. Yeah. So people who are living in Bidadari, do also leave us comments and share how is it like your experiences living at Bidadari.
Yes. And if our information is correct.
Okay, and that's all
See you
for
in the
today.
next one.
See you in the next one.
Bye bye.